Toxic chemicals in your tap water, you probably buy bottled water to be safe. A lot of folks do that. But is bottled water really safer? Dr. Urvashi Rangan is joining us. She's the environmental health scientist for Consumer Reports. Urvashi, thank you for joining us again.
It's a pleasure.
Bottom line, it's what everyone's asking right now. Is bottled water safer? How safe is it?
It's really hard to answer that question. The fact of the matter is there's a hodgepodge of regulations around bottled water, and none of them are as good as the regulations for tap water, which has to be tested every day, and there's a comprehensive set of standards. So at least we can find out what's in our tap water or what's not. That's not always the case for bottled water.
How many of you knew that? How many of you knew that water companies, that bottled water companies, are not required to tell you where their water is coming from or how they're treating it? Put your hands up. What is the big secret? Well, how is this possible?
Well, the big secret is that at least a quarter of all the bottled water being sold out there is tap water.
Who knew that? We have like 6. These are small numbers. This is a 220-person audience. These are very low numbers of people. How is that possible?
Well, the labeling on bottled water is so confusing. There really aren't a lot of good regulations. When you see claims like pure or filtered, you think that's a great thing. It actually may be an indicator that it's filtered tap water and doesn't come from spring water. So it's very confusing when you look at these things. You think you're getting something, but you really may not be.
We just learned that tap water has perchlorates in it sometimes. Sometimes it has chromium-6 in it. So if you're not able to clean that out of your tap water, how do we know that it's actually being taken out of the bottled water that we're being actually asked to pay for?
We don't.
We don't?
We don't.
Yeah, that's alarming.
That is alarming. And bottled water can have contaminant problems just like municipal tap water can, but the difference is we know what's in the municipal tap water and we know what's coming through our sinks, and we can do additional testing to find out what's coming into our homes.
And you're not paying for it?
That's right.
All right, so here's what I think makes sense. It's a 3-step action plan. You're going to test your tap water, find out how safe it is. Then you're going to filter the tap water if you need to. And then, if you really want to be elegant about it, bottle your filtered water for much less money than the commercial bottled water. That's what I do in my house. So, Dr. Urvashi, explain to me, why is it we have to bother testing it all? Why not just filter everything?
Filtering may be overkill in many cases, and also you want to match the filter to your needs and the contaminants in your water. So while lead may be a problem for a lot of households, if you live in a house that's older than 1986, you may have lead solder in your pipes. If it's older than that, you may have lead pipes. So those municipal water reports aren't telling you about what's coming through the pipes in your home. It's good to get an assessment of that, especially if you live in an old house, and then you'll want to make sure the filter you get is really good at removing lead. You may have other contaminants like arsenic. Some cities even have contaminants like radon. That's going to require a different filter system altogether to address those contaminants.
So Consumer Reports has just come out with its recommendations for filters. We've got 4 of the key ones right here. We're going to go through them one by one. The first 2 options filter out the chloroform and the lead. All right, these are the most common contaminants that are in our water supply. The first is the easiest, the cheapest. A lot of folks have tried it. The carafe or pitcher system. Explain it to us.
So this is the simplest model out there. It's about $25 for a carafe system. Consumer Reports really goes the extra mile to test all of these. They don't all perform as well as they say, so it's important to go further and do your homework to make sure it's getting rid of the contaminants you want it to get rid of.
All right, so pretty simple. Now, how can we limit lead exposure if we don't have one of these filter systems?
If you live in an older home and you are not using any filter system, there's a couple of rules of thumb. One, don't drink the hot water from your pipes. Hot water will leach the lead out of your pipes or the solder into the water itself.
Simple actions that we can all do. Okay, the second filter option we're going to talk about is one that you can attach to the faucet. Explain how this works.
So, right, this is a faucet-mounted filter. Now, anybody can do it. It doesn't require any plumbing changes, and it's a real simple flip of the head. If you want your regular water, it comes out here. When you want it filtered, it comes out here. What's really nice about this is it has a light to tell you when to change the filter.
All right, actually, the third one you're talking about, I'll bring it over here. It actually goes under the sink. You need a plumber to help install this. Explain how these work.
So that's right. These actually require some plumbing changes under the sink. You're going to mount it in the cabinet under the sink. These filter much more water, so if you're a larger family, if you're filtering gallons of water, if you like to cook with filtered water, this is a great system.
Yeah, this is not intimidating enough for you coming over here, Urvashi. Yeah, there have been bigger systems. And obviously, there's a whole panoply of opportunities here. But this is a really large system. This also goes under the sink.
That's right.
And what does this give you extra?
So this is called a reverse osmosis filtration system. Without getting caught up in the name, it's overkill in most cases. But if you have certain contaminants like arsenic, radon, it's only this filtering system is going to help you. These are really not going to help you. So it's a bit more expensive than the rest. It requires plumbing changes and a little more maintenance on the filters. You'll have to disinfect with bleach occasionally. But again, if you have some interesting contaminants that can't be addressed by some of these others, this is your
Let me
system.
talk about the mega systems. You can get one for the whole house, which we're not going to get into. But these are ones that all of you should consider. Consumer Reports is written on it.
That's right.
You've got information. We're going to provide it to you on DrOz.com. Take advantage of this. Make some decisions today. Make it happen in your life. You'll actually end up saving money in the long run. Dr. Bashir Sangan, pleasure as always. Love having you on the show.
Thank
Be
you
right
so
back.
much.
Last